Phillies fever isn't strictly for those from the Keystone State. At Modell's Sporting Goods in Newark, Delaware, merchandise sales for the NL East champs is in high demand.
Usually for our apparel section, it's about 15–20%, but right now we're about 30–40% of all of our sales floors going to Phillies.
And with more Phillies wins come more opportunities to generate revenue.
We have a new T-shirt that came out today. It's called Lights Out Lidge. There's a picture of Brad Lidge on it because it's new. They claim this year's Lights Out.
Although it may not look like it now, Phillies fever is also directly impacting area watering holes.
The baseball season's long, so we don't get a lot of play through the season, but with the playoffs, everybody wants to be around other fans so they can celebrate. You know, nobody wants to sit at home and high-five their dog when something good happens. They want to be around other fans, and it's just tremendous for us.
Watching the game on TV is one thing, but Phillies Vice President of Sales and Ticketing Operations, John Weber, told me that the more games the Phillies play, the more money the fans will pay.
We have a two-tiered structure. We have an April, May, September structure, then a summer structure. For April, May, and September, it's 44 to 15, and for the summer months, it's 50 to 16.
How does the ticketing structure work for the playoffs?
Sure. For the Division Series, the tickets were 43 and 73. For the LCS, they're 84 and 124. And then for the World Series, which the prices are set by Major League Baseball, they're 129, 155, and 230.
Now those prices are face value, and many are reserved for season ticket holders. But according to licensed secondary ticket brokers All-American Tickets in Claymont, a good seat for the NLCS could easily run upwards of $500, and no doubt more if the Phillies make it to the World Series. So in just a few short hours, this joint is going to be jumping with the Phillies faithful, hoping the money they spent was a winning investment. I'm Art Rubalcaba here in Citizens Bank Park in South Philly, WHYY News. Delaware Congressman Mike Castle and Senator Tom Carper arrived with shovels in hand this morning for the ceremonial groundbreaking of the new 166th Airlift Wing Maintenance Hangar.
I think the fact that our Air Guard does a great job. They spend a lot of time not only meeting emergencies here in this country, but around the world. It's not a hard battle to, and it's not a hard case to make. We fought hard, we made the case, and we're successful.
The new hangar will replace the current 56-year-old facility, which has been criticized for being too small and antiquated to properly maintain and repair the unit's 8 C-130 aircrafts.
It allows us to be more efficient working on the airplanes and increase productivity. So it's a win-win for us, a win for the Air Force. We hope to increase both our operational readiness rate as well. And some creature comforts finally for our airmen who worked in that hangar for years without adequate heat, lighting, so it's just a great win for all of us.
The $33 million hangar will be built in a three-phase process to be completed in 2011, but ready for initial use by 2010.
First phase is the hangar maintenance bay, is actually where the aircraft parks in for the maintenance. The second phase are some of the shops and the administrative areas that support that. And then the third phase is the remaining shops that are really the dirty shops, engine shop, prop shop, and that kind of thing. And that is going to be next to the facility.
The new facility will be the first in the U.S. Air Force to implement a geo-exchange cooling and heating system.
It has some loops basically that goes down the earth and has a constant temperature, and it's a lot easier to heat or cool that constant temperature than outside using the outside temperature.
The project signifies quite a turnaround for the base, which only 3 years ago was on the bubble of being permanently shut down.
This is even more rewarding in the sense that it's a commitment by the federal government to keep improving our airport here, which means to me that we won't be threatened by track closings in the future. So we're very pleased about that.
In Newcastle, Art Rubalcaba, WHYY News. The Red Clay School District is proposing to eliminate extended bus routes for choice students attending schools outside of their assigned zones. The projected proposal could save the district an estimated $140,000 annually. I met with school board president Erwin Becknell.
We don't know what the future is going to bring as far as state funding and cost of education. So the administration is concerned about that, and they're saying, we believe that it's time to begin the process of trying to save that $140,000 a year.
The proposal wouldn't affect elementary and magnet school students, and Becknell believes that if the proposal passes, it shouldn't affect students who are already using the extended bus service.
I don't think we should change that transportation plan for those children. They started under one set of rules. They ought to finish their grade range in the school anyway, under that set of rules. It should begin in 2011 for middle school students and 2012 for high school students. That allows this year's 6th graders to get through 8th grade in their middle school, and this year's 9th graders to get through 12th grade in their high school.
Red Clay students could still attend choice schools, but the lack of transportation may greatly limit options for families.
It's important that we make a decision tonight because the choice period, the period in which children can apply for a choice school, begins on, I think, November 3rd, and it goes through early January. So we want to have, that's for next year, for the 2009 school year, so we need to tell people today and tomorrow what the rules are going to be for next year so they can make their choices now based on that.
The vote will take place tonight here at the Brandywine Springs District Office, and it's open to the public. And if it does pass, affected parents will have another choice to make regarding their children's education. In Marshallton, Art Rubalcava, WHYY News.
Hello, my name is Cliff Palmer from TA Farms, Wyoming, Delaware.
Hello, my name is Dan Palmer.
I'm Justin Palmer. I'm the son of Danny and grandson of Cliff. Been here my whole life on the farm.
Well, we started about 20-some years ago, but right now we're about 3,000. It seems to go 200 to 500 more every year in order to keep up. We get them in right out, one day old out of the hatchery, so they're just like a bitty. They're little, real little, right out of the right out of the egg. And we raise them in 18 to 20 weeks, and we're 20 pounds and around 20, give and take a couple pounds. But toms weigh a little bit more than that, which some people want a big turkey, so it's going to have to be a tom to get a big one. And they will get big because at Christmas time, if you let that tom go, he'll weigh 40 pounds.
We've got a grinder mixer that actually takes the corn, grinds it up in the smaller, breaks it in half and quarters. Then the mixer part takes the soybean meal, puts it in there. Each ingredient is weighed out and made into a batch, mixed up and put in a tank. And then it's augured out into individual feeders.
Growing up on the farm gave me a good perspective on how things are supposed to work. It definitely gave me a lot more respect for these guys, you know, especially since the way my pop-up used to farm and my dad when he first started compared to the equipment and stuff that I'm driving in now. You're talking, I got GPS, laptops in my equipment, you know, it's a whole different ballgame. You get attached to some of your animals, like our female cows, they stay on our farm their whole life, you know, and so you do get attached to them. Not so much with the birds, it's hard because you have so many of them and they stink.
But people think they're pretty dumb, you know, staying out in the rain and all that kind of stuff here, but that's not true. They may be a dumb animal, but they're not quite that bad.
Actually, they get annoying because they just come by the hundreds and just sit down, and then you're trapped, you can't really walk. Yeah, I think we've got a niche market by doing this. We're lucky that nobody else is doing it, and I think it's something that's viable and is going to last for a long time. We
want to keep getting bigger and make sure that it's going to be around for me to have, you know, when that time comes, hopefully not anytime soon, but that's going to happen.
I'd like to see him go on even though it's a tough business. But I'm real pleased that he's doing it, you know.
It took us 30 years to get to this point, and obviously he'll already have a great start to carry on and get bigger and better. That'll be the big advantage as I see it.
The responsibility level is there. I mean, I know what it's going to be, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
Late last year, Newcastle County Police Chief Rick Gregory met with county officials to project the future needs of the county's police department.
At the end of the day, it's our recommendation that we increase over 5 years the agency by 117 sworn positions and an additional 12 non-sworn positions.
If passed, the proactive movement would cost Newcastle County residents an estimated $1.6 million for the remainder of '08 and $3.5 million each year after that. It's a decision that has county council members torn.
When we vote on the 1.6, we're committing to 3.5 next year, which means a 4% tax increase. We have other needs in the county. Our sewers are deteriorated and have to be repaired.
The EPA and DENREC are pushing Newcastle County to improve the infrastructure and maintenance program of their sewer system. So the county Special Services Department is also seeking additional funding.
What we're proposing and what will be introduced next Tuesday is a budget amendment in the amount of about $1.45 million, which will result in a sewer rate increase.
And this is annually or just a one-time fee?
Annually.
In a county where deficit spending and decreasing revenue streams have become increasingly difficult to deal with, funding both projects will be an arduous task.
I think we have to look at serving both. We just can't put all our money on the police and not ignore the sewers.
So whether the proposed additional revenues go to fix the sewer system or add additional police to the force, one thing's for certain, one way or another, Newcastle residents will be footing the bill. In Newcastle County, at the police headquarters, I'm Art Rubalcava, WHYY News.